Welcome to Penn State Sports Night for Monday, March 21st. I'm Alex Blankman.
And I'm Anna Patingolo.
The Sweet 16 is set for March Madness, but it didn't happen without plenty of upsets in the opening weekend. Friday marked the first time ever that a 13, 14, and 15 seed all won on the same day, and overall 9 teams ranked 10 or lower won in the round of 64. Despite the upsets, this is the first time since 2012 that all 4 1 seeds made it to the Sweet 16. Kansas, Oregon, University of Virginia, and University of North Carolina all advanced. The action picks back up on Thursday with Villanova and Miami.
Not to be forgotten in all the madness, the women's NCAA tournament also kicked off this weekend. The UConn Huskies won their 70th game in a row in a lopsided 101-49 victory over Robert Morris in the first round. The Huskies are on a quest for their 4th straight championship and record 11th overall. Head coach Gino Auriemma has led them to all of those championships in his 31 years with the team.
He's got 50.
Over in the NBA, the Pelicans shut down star forward Anthony Davis for the season due to a recent knee injury and shoulder injury that he said he's been fighting for 3 years. Davis will have surgeries on both his shoulder and his knee and is expected to miss 4 to 5 months. Davis's injury means that he'll miss out on this summer's Olympics, opening up the door for guys like DeAndre Jordan or DeMarcus Cousins to make the trip to Rio.
Back in State College, Penn State's NFL hopefuls took to the field on Thursday at the annual Pro Day. Christian Hackenberg, Anthony Zettel, and more showed their talent in front of scouts from 31 NFL teams. Sources say that Hackenberg greatly helped himself with his performance, which included a throwing session where he went 44 for 52, including 21 straight completions. Next up for the prospects is draft day in April. Former players are speaking out against Penn State women's hockey coach Josh Brandwein over allegations that he had mentally and emotionally abused them. A new Daily Collegian article outlines the abuse, which ranged from benching players he disliked to telling one player to lose weight. The allegations aren't new, with many of them first being reported in 2014. Brandwein is at the end of his contract, and many say they're hoping it won't be renewed for next season.
The United States is working to fix a strained relationship with Cuba, and the best way to do that seems to be through baseball. The MLB is in Cuba for the first time since 1999, and the Tampa Bay Rays are set to take on the Cuban national team on Tuesday in a historic game. Cuba has long been a source of baseball talent, especially with guys like Yoenis Cespedes and Yasiel Puig hailing from there. With tensions lessening between the two countries, it will be easier for MLB teams to sign Cuban athletes in the future. We will be right back with some more Penn State Sports Night.
Mike Gilbert, Alex Blankman, what's the rule?
The rule is it is always NFL season.
That's why we're doing some fit or flop today, Alex. I'm going to throw out some free agent names, big signings, and we're going to say whether it's a fit or it's going to be a flop. So
let's do it.
Let's jump right into it. The $72 million man, Brock Osweiler.
Brock Osweiler.
Fit or flop?
Brock Osweiler will be a flop. $72 million, 4 years. He's had 7 starts in his entire career. And even behind quarterback guru Bill O'Brien, who's worked with quarterbacks like Tom Brady in the past, and who brought Brian Hoyer to the playoffs, this will be a flop.
J.J. Watt brought Brian Hoyer to the playoffs.
That's true.
I still think it'll be a flop, although they did sign Lamar Miller, who will help with the run game, which will in turn help Brock Osweiler now.
Which will in turn be a fit. He will fit well. He will take Arian Foster's spot. He is young. They have very similar skill sets. The only difference, Lamar Miller does not get injured as often. With Arian Foster gone, Lamar Miller, perfect fit in Texas.
All right, so the Giants spending a lot of money on that defensive line. Olivier Vernon, Damon Harrison, Javorius Jenkins. Fit or flop for that Giants defensive line?
The Giants spent over $200 million this offseason. They spent $80 million combined in the last 4 offseasons. All these moves are going to fit perfectly into place for an offense that is already featuring Odell Beckham Jr. and Eli Manning. Giants should be a very formidable team in a weak NFC East. All the defensive spots will be a fit.
You know what I don't like, Alex, is the fact that Giants fans complaining about spending all that money when last season they were complaining about not spending enough money. It doesn't add up. But
terrible secondary last year, and they're good to go this year.
Let's go to the other team who plays in the Meadowlands, the New York Jets.
New York Jets.
Matt Forte, fit or flop?
Matt Forte will be a perfect fit for the New York Jets. A little on the older side, but he will feature well as a 3-down back. And with the return of Bilal Powell, the New York Jets should be an offense looking like last year. Bringing along with former teammate Brandon Marshall, Matt Forte should be a nice compliment.
If they get Ryan Fitzpatrick back. Speaking of quarterbacks, Eagles investing a lot of money in Chase Daniel and Sam Bradford. Fit or flop for those Eagles quarterbacks?
Those guys are going to flop like a fish out of water on this one. They spent way too much money, over $50 million between your starter and backup quarterback. And you claim Bradford's the starter, but I don't think the Eagles really knows the starter's going to be. Major flop. Just like Chip Kelly did, this team is going to be a flop.
Paying Chase Daniel's starter money does not make sense to me at all. It's also inflated the quarterback market, helped to inflate it. Brock Osweiler inflated it.
Brock Osweiler, Ryan Fitzpatrick, the same agent. That's why.
Chris Ivory, fit or flop in Jacksonville.
Chris Ivory, fit in Jacksonville.
Okay.
He'll be able to stay healthy with TJ Yeldon helping him out, and I think that's going to be a huge part of the Jacksonville offense.
All right, the last fit or flop and the most important fit or flop, Mark Sanchez in Denver.
Mark Sanchez in Denver will be a major. It doesn't even matter. I can't even say fit or flop because he will be the backup.
So who are they going to go out and get?
They're going to get whoever they draft in the first round because they're obviously picking at the very end anyway. They just won the Super Bowl. I think they're going to take the best quarterback available. Mark Sanchez may start week 1, but it's not really going to affect the team. Not with this great defense and not with the rookie, whoever that is they take.
Kaepernick, RG3, Fitzpatrick. Where do they end up?
Kaepernick, I'm going to say goes to the Browns. RG3 also goes to the Browns. And Ryan Fitzpatrick remains with the New York
Fitzpatrick
Jets.
with the Jets. Kaepernick with the 49ers. Griffin with the Browns.
The Browns, he actually had a meeting
Either
with
way,
Griffin.
the Browns quarterback situation,
I'd rather
gonna
have
flop.
many people over RG3.
big flop. We will be right back with more Penn State Sports Night. Stick around.
Welcome back to Penn State Sports Night. I'm Allison Gasparetti alongside Alyssa Devine. We're here to talk some Penn State hockey tonight. So for the Penn State men's hockey team, their season has officially ended. As of Friday, they lost to Michigan in the Big Ten tournament. You know, a lot of people expected Penn State to go all the way and take it to the NCAA tournament. Alyssa, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, Penn State played really well against the Wisconsin Badgers, and that was expected. They won 5-2. Unfortunately, they lost to Michigan 7-2, and Michigan is a really good team this year. They have the top line in the nation. So a lot of people were expecting Penn State to play well, but again, it wasn't really realistic because of Michigan's top line. Kyle Connor is the front runner for the Hobie Baker Award for a reason. But again, Penn State played well against Wisconsin this past weekend. They scored 5 goals. Eric Scheid scored 2 goals on the night, adding to a dominant performance this season at 28 points. Luke Yuha had a career high of 3 assists that night and then added a goal on Friday night against Michigan. Defensively, Guy Gadowski has been emphasizing all year to get the defense going, especially producing on the offensive side, and that's what they did, especially Luke Yuha. So again, they didn't play that great against Michigan, but again, it's because of that top line.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan has, I don't want to say trampled Penn State, I mean, consistently this year. It's been a rough season for them. But Michigan ended up winning the Big Ten tournament. They defeated Minnesota, which we all know is not easy to do. But, you know, kind of going back to Penn State, you know, they dropped 4 of their last 6 regular season games. And they had to win the Big Ten tournament to even get into the NCAA tournament. So, I mean, in just 4 years, though, if you think about how far Penn State has come, it's been a really incredible journey to watch these guys and the team transform. People were saying that they wouldn't win a conference game for years after they became a D1 program. So what are your thoughts on how Penn State has kind of grown in the past couple of years?
Penn State's hockey program has definitely come a long way, and for multiple reasons, especially the seniors, Tommy Olczyk, Matthew Scoff, they were the foundation for this team, and they grew with this hockey foundation and really did a lot for this program. And Penn State has grown tremendously. They came close to making it into the NCAA tournament for the first time in program history. Their record spoke for how successful their season was. They ended the season 21-13-4 for an overall record, and that's setting a program record. And again, you know, the freshmen this year were tremendous too. Chase Berger and Andrew Sturts, who led Penn State in the goals category at 18. Kevin Kerr, as a defenseman, was tremendous, and again, he's going to be good again for the season to come.
Yeah, and I have a couple records here that they've set this year. 21 wins, 140 goals, 226 assists. They finished the highest in the Big Ten Conference this year at 3rd. So many awards for postseason this year. Amy McAdam and Vince Pedri were all Big Ten second team. David Goodwin got an honorable mention. Luke Yuha actually won Big Ten Sportsman Award and was nominated for the 2016 All-Tournament team, which is the first Nittany Lion to do that. So we've had a lot of record-breaking events this year, which is great to see the program grow. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for tonight, but thank you for joining us here at the studio. For everyone here at Penn State Sports Night, thank you, and we'll see you next week.